5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deducter bringing you set 2 of STX versus Woongjin Stars. Woongjin Stars up 1-0. We have Really playing for Woongjin Stars as the Teal Terran at the 9 o'clock position, and we have Modesty playing as the Orange Zerg at the 12 o'clock position. And Modesty, not a particularly good Zerg player, although these days STX, no more July Zerg, Calm not really doing well. So I guess this is who they're sending out now. Modesty, he's got a 46% win rate overall, and he's 40% against Terran, so not the best against Terran. Really, again, mediocre-ish player, but should be able to take on Modesty here without too much of a problem. This is the map Icarus, by the way. So let's see what these two players do, and already we see that Modesty's scout is going in the wrong direction. Not that it's going to bother Zerg players these days, they always send out a drone scout anyway. So here's hoping for a good match between these two players. I don't think there's too much else to say. I was just kind of disappointed by game 1. I was hoping Shadow would do something clever, but he was not clever at all. I also like to mention on this map, Icarus, it's in my opinion, basically balanced in Terran versus Zerg. It's in TVZ, it's 48%, meaning Zerg is like slightly favored. But as far as I'm concerned, 48% is essentially 50% at these levels. It could have just been a few games where Jaedong trounced some noob, for instance, or maybe on the other hand, Flash beat a few more players. That sort of tips the balance when the statistics are so close. Here we see a 12 hatch coming out for Modesty here. Good for him. He is not sending out the drone scout. That's interesting. So he's going for the 12 hatch pool extractor build, it looks like. Now he's probably sending out his drone scout. Okay. Looks like Really not going to scout in the right direction either. He's going to scout Modesty last. He'll probably cross paths with an Overlord or one of these drones. So he's going to know where Modesty is. Nevertheless, it is important to see what exactly the Zerg player is doing in his base. Very important to note. Here we have the Overlord going to probably try to get itself over one of these cliffs. Good for the Overlord. Second Overlord, perhaps already en route. Ah, yes, already close to Really's base. Modesty does need to back the Overlord up just a bit. Is SEV going to chase around the drone or two? How the tables have turned. Sometimes the drone harasses the SEV. Sometimes the SEV tries to do harassment on drone. Actually, I rarely see that happen. Usually, Terran players do not choose to use their SEVs to pick away the drones. Probably because there is no sort of self-healing for the SEV. Once it eats up enough HP, you know, that's that. Whereas drones and probes can regenerate, especially probes. They can regenerate their shields very quickly. And obviously the Terran player wants to keep the scout alive for as long as possible, so any loss to HP would not be worthwhile. Really, these Zerglings going to destroy the SEV eventually. And really, putting down a second barracks, see this quite often these days. Terran goes for many more infantry early on, as a counter to these sort of Zerg attempts to harass. And I think Zerg can respond to this basically with these sort of Hydra build you see on the map, what is that map called? Monte Cristo, where they just take an early third base and as long as it's on a cliff, it's sunken in. You know, 2 or 3 sunkens on top of a cliff, if you have 20 Mech Marines, it's not going to break up that ramp, especially if you get a few more Zerglings. And by the time the Terran's in position with 20 Mech Marines to try to assault, which is not going to work anyway, I fear, you're going to have Mutalisk there, and that scouting SCV finally going down, and there's no chance of Terran breaking. Perhaps the Terran will try to go assault natural, but a few Sunkens there, in addition to some Lings and Mutalisk, should also defend fairly well. That way, the Zerg player can get the economy up more, and sort of punish the Terran for going so troop-heavy early on. Alternatively, perhaps, we might see some sort of innovation. Looks like these Speedlings are coming, but it's not going to work. The supply depot blocking the bunker there, there's a fire bat out too. Perhaps there's going to be some sort of run-by attempt by Modesty. It's not going to work. He's got an expansion on the low ground there. Wow, that's a good point. I guess that Hydro Bill is only possible on Monte Cristo where the Sunkens can be played close to the ramp. These Zerglings are going to try to do something to run by. There are 2 SCVs and a Fire Bat out to block. Very clever there by Really. He responded just in time. Modesty might be trying to pick off some of these units. Be careful. You don't want to attack the Fire Bat next to a Medic. That's not going to work. 2 Sunkens going up here for Modesty. 1 Sunken only. Surely he's got more Zerglings morphing. He needs some more Zerglings, I feel, to defend this. Really, if he goes in, he might be able to kill a few drones, but Really deciding to back out and not willing to sacrifice his first group of units for this purpose. So, I guess Modesty knew exactly how many units he needed to defend, and that's my point. That's sort of I mean, I'm no expert on this, unfortunately. I can only watch the games and see what the players do. Surely these players have an inner understanding of what is necessary, but my point is this sort of clutch defense, I think, is what is necessary now. By the time for Mulus to come out, Mulus can try to do a harassment as best as they can. These Lings and Mulus are going to come in and wipe out all 5 Marines. It looked like those Marines had no health. They were probably stimmed to death or something like that, it looks like. And Really now, with no map presence at all, he's going to be fine stucking his base, I think. But certainly, Modesty seizing the initiative with a nice little attack there. I don't think he suffered 1 casualty at all. Fire Bat managing to scout out the expansion at the 3 o'clock position. So excellent work by Modesty. If he can keep up this sort of clever tactical play, is exactly what he needs to do here to win the game. But we shall see how well he controls more than a group of Mulus and a group of Zerglings. I mean, the big battles. Let's see how he does. Modesty coming in with some Lings, picking away at these turrets. He's going to be able to kill 1, but I fear he will be forced to back off now that these Medic Marines are in position to reinforce. Nevertheless, Modesty going, picking off the stray SCV or 2. Doing a decent harass. Perhaps taking advantage of this map, he can wait for the Medic Marines to push out and then back off his Mulus if necessary. These Mulus are doing a lot of damage. They're almost able to kill the second turret, killing a second turret. Now these Mulus have free line over the Nashville. Excellent play here by Modesty. This will look like Really is going to be unnerved by this. Oh no, Modesty running his Mulus into Marine Fire, losing 1. At least it was a complete disaster. Was that an eye roll that I saw? Second! Let's go down to this. The second Fire Bat coming in to roast up Modesty's drone at his 3 o'clock base. And just as I thought Modesty was doing okay, Really here, with significantly more experience than Modesty. Modesty's played under 100 games. That still makes it, he's by no means a rookie or anything like that, but Really I think has played more games, significantly more so. I know Really's been around for some time. Modesty, truth be told, I don't know too much about him. And now Really with a second group of Medic Marines out too. He is somewhat Marine heavy and Medic light, so I think the best move is to try to bait these Marines. He is losing quite a few Mulus to this sort of attack on these Marines, even using this cliff. I'm not sure whether that is wise at all. Even though Modesty cleans up this particular force of Medic Marines, his Mulus are severely weakened. They're not going to be able to do too much, I fear. Also, interestingly enough, Really here does not have +1 upgrade for his infantry. He also only has 3 barracks. Now, Modesty coming in for a second attempt at harassment, but he's not going to be able to save his 3rd base, it looks like. So he's essentially willing to trade bases at this point. I fear that Modesty is not going to be able to kill off this expansion eventually. Really is going to be able to re-establish control over it, even if he's forced to abandon it temporarily. He's got a bunker to fall back to. On the other hand, while Modesty's going with these Mulus, he might be trying to pick away at the SCVs at the main command center, of which there is nothing there to defend. Absolute blind spot, so this may actually work out very well here for Modesty. And it looks like Really he's lost so many SCVs this game. He's probably down to maybe a little over a dozen, and has, yes, the 3rd base does go down there for Modesty. So I still think Really is in an okay-ish position as long as he can hold off these Mulus. His +1 carapace upgraded for those Mulus, but +1 attack coming from Modesty. So Really needs to be able to beat these Mulus. He's got a bunker to fall back to. Why doesn't he utilize the bunker? I don't understand. He's picked off quite a few Mulus, but he's lost all his Medic Marines at this point, and perhaps Modesty, by cleverly using this blind spot here to kill SCVs is going to win the game despite losing his third base. I thought losing his third base would not be good for him. But really, he only has 3 barracks. It's not like the 5 barracks you see, for instance, I see Flash put up, and all these SCVs are going down, and I fear with this is going to be GG here for Really. So Modesty making the correct decision. After all, he is losing a lot of meatless to these attacks. I think finally Really going to be able to drive Modesty out. On the other hand, Modesty's economy not doing too well either. He is working on Hive Tech. I think finally Really might be able to reestablish control of the natural here, but still more meatless coming out here for Modesty. I think Really needs to be cautious here. He can't afford the loss of these troops. He needs to consolidate his position. Nevertheless, he's choosing to press ahead with like 3 Marines against 10 meatless maybe, and losing his army. He can't afford to lose that army at this point. He's got nothing in the bunker. I don't know why Really did that. So this surely will be GG. If he had, after he killed most of the meatless, held off and clumped around his turrets, he may not be in an impossible position. But now he is certainly in an impossible position. We should see GG coming here very soon from Really. He's looking rather despondent. And, I don't know, not the best play from Really. Reasonably good decision making by Modesty. And, okay meatless micro. I mean, he did lose a lot of meatless. GG coming in here from Modesty. I mean, GG coming in from Really. I apologize. GG coming from Really. I guess I have to give Modesty more credit than that. His meatless won him the game, so it has to be good. I just thought that against a better Terran player, perhaps it may not have worked quite as well. Nevertheless, going on to set 3.